Lori, also known as My Cat Pearl on Instagram and Ravelry.
And I'm Heidi, also known as Heidi Knits 14 on Ravelry and Blue Eye Knitter on Instagram.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, she's got that. We are coming to you from Columbus, Ohio, or right outside of actually, the Heartland or Cowtown, and we are Cowtown Colorworks. I feel like you have to smile when you say that. You're like, we're Cowtown Colorworks. Hi. Sorry, I do crack myself up a little bit. I'm sorry, Heidi. I promise to be good. I may be the little more outgoing person. That's okay. I talk a lot.
We'll balance each other out.
We will. So anyway, I'm Lori. We're from Columbus. I have two cats. Wellington, who's 7, and Chloe, who's 16. Wellington will visit. Chloe will not. But that's okay. He's a little outgoing like me. And I like to knit.
Your cats have lived very long lives so far.
Wellington's
16?
only 7.
I
Oh,
thought
Chloe?
She's at 16.
She is.
Okay. That's a long time.
Yeah, she's old. She doesn't have any teeth. Literally has no teeth. She's very cute. She's our petite cat.
Our cats are much younger.
Yes.
So, okay, I have 2 kids, a husband, and 3 cats. And the cats are each around. I think the oldest one is about 2. The others are.
Oh, you have babies.
Yes. The other 2 are each a year old.
Okay.
2 were stray, and 1 was given to us. Anyway, it's not about cats, it's about knitting. But
Yeah.
knitters love cats, apparently.
Apparently.
So, let's see. I've been knitting since about 2007, 2008, around there. And, I don't know, I started off with a small project. And at that time when I started, I thought, I never knew people knit 10 things at a time or more, even.
I still don't.
So, well, at that point, I mean, it wasn't as exciting to me until
Right.
I found, like, podcasts and Ravelry and things like that, and thought, oh my god, they're doing 5 different projects at once, and then the bug, it just took off.
Like, you never got bored.
Right. It's about not
Then she
being
taught
bored.
me to knit. Was that 2013?
And we became yarn addicts, too. So.
We sure did.
Yeah.
Thanks, Heidi. Or I should say my bank thanks you.
Yeah.
My bank thanks you. Actually, my
Joanne's misses you. No.
I'm still in there, too. My niece, Sarah, wanted to learn to knit. She's like, let's knit. So Heidi taught us how to knit. And my first project was some scary-looking fan cover.
I remember.
It was supposed to be a
It was supposed to be
hat.
a hat.
It was supposed to be a hat, and it was so big when I put it on, it dropped down on my shoulder, so I put it on my oscillating fan, and it became a fan cover. It was beautiful. I mean, I had a very well-dressed fan until I was embarrassed and threw it away. Sarah's still working on that sweater, because only my niece out the gate is going to knit a sweater. The Tree of Life sweater, I think, with like some tree on the back. I'm like, you go, girl.
I think Sarah's just choosing to have a social life. Not that we don't have social lives. You know what I mean. She's just like, she's put the knitting aside. And
She's 20-something, not
all over the place.
Right.
Not
Old.
Not even on a Friday night podcast. We happen to be right now.
We weren't going to tell people it was Friday night. It's Sunday morning at 8. And we are podcasting from Craft Central. That's what I like to refer to as my basement that I finally got back from Sydney's, who moved out finally. Love you. But I got my space back, so I got to set it up. And I'm looking behind me, and that shelf is crooked. We'll fix that.
Maybe maybe if we lean this way, it'll.
I think we have to go this way. Straight. Is that
No.
better? No. Okay, better. Anyway, so like I said, I'm kind of chatty Cathy. Heidi taught me how to knit a few years ago, and then I decided that expensive yarn is so much better. Expensive, indie dyed, more wool, less acrylic.
That's the difference right there.
Right. It's the wool content.
The way it feels on your needles.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Doesn't hurt your
Not
hands.
sticky. There's no crunchy. And the colors. Oh, the colors. The colors. So, I think we should get into our works in progress and chat along while we're showing.
Sure.
Please show and tell. I love show and tell. All right, do you want to start? Sure. How many do you have?
I haven't counted. no, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, you have 4. So. Okay, you go first. Is that nice?
Easy things first, I guess.
Sure.
3 patterns first. This is the honey cow. It's a Madeline Tosh pattern. I'm not sure who the actual individual is that designed it, but it's put out by Madeline Tosh. Although the yarn is not Madeline Tosh, but the yarn is from Neighborhood Fiber Company, which I purchased at Fiberspace in DC. Oh, I guess it's going to be backwards.
No.
Fiberspace.
Yeah.
And when I travel, I try to go to a local to that area yarn shop and pick up yarn. So there's something special. Yeah, somewhere to drag my husband when we're traveling. But yeah. So this pattern, it comes in different sizes, or you could knit it in different sizes. So I'm doing like the medium sized one, I guess. So it's nice. I like it. Hoping to stretch it out a little more even when I block it.
Yeah. Looks like it's gonna be super warm.
Yeah, it's pretty thick, you know, and true. I mean, this is 100% merino. It's Columbus Circle is the colorway. Yeah, I believe it is a superwash. What else can I tell you? Actually, this is their chunky. I believe it's called Studio Chunky. I keep looking in here because I probably have a ripped ball band somewhere. But which who knows where it could be at this point. But yes, their Studio Chunky line. It's really squishy. Really, you could really see a pretty twist in it. And I don't know. I'm drawn to blues a lot, but there were a lot of beautiful, beautiful colors in this, and it was a 300 yard skein. $40 for a 300 yard skein, but it is chunky. I didn't mind paying the price.
I mean, like at worsted weight, it's like 200 or something yards. So chunky.
They have a 400 yard worsted for $30.
Wow.
Yeah, which I was kind of between the two, which one should I get? But I really loved this color, the way
it'll be
it's
totally
a glazy
warm.
kind of color. It's like a glazy blue.
It is. I'm telling you, I would have named it that Delphine China.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of that
pattern.
porcelain china from Holland, I think it's from. It's going to be super warm. One of the drawbacks or benefits of living in Ohio, it gets very cold here in the winter. Yeah. So you will.
But that's how it'll be, really.
And I tried knitting this, and it just was so thick. It wasn't. I mean, it was like standing up on its own. So I think I had the wrong.
It kind of does that.
I didn't care for it, so I ripped it out. I'm going to start again. I think I'm going to up the needle size. I just like a more drapey, less bulletproof, if you will.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was playing with fiber, and now it's like all over my face.
Do you want to point out my Carvin's needles, which are my favorite needle at the time, at the current time?
This moment?
Year. I guess it just depends what you try, what comes out, and what you like better. Because I used to swear by Hayas. I loved those, the wooden ones. And I don't know. I have these, and I have several pairs of the circulars and fixed circulars, and a couple of sets of double points. And I love them. I always use them when I can.
I want to get the double points, and I'll bring that up here in a moment when I get my socks out. But I want to try the double points. Yeah, I like it. It'll be warm. Yeah, it's squishy.
Do you want to take turns back and forth? Okay.
Let's play Sherry, shall we? I'm knitting the Pebble Beach by Helen Stewart. I have a picture to show you. It's not in color. There we go. Yeah, Helen Stewart. It's a paid for pattern. This is the lace weight version. I knit the small fingering shawlette, and I loved it. And when this came out, I noticed in my Ravelry patterns that I was upgraded to the full 3 patterns now. So I have all 3 sizes. We are going on a cruise in October. We thought we would knit a shawl. That right when this came out.
I guess we should give a little bit of background. We've known each other for many, many years. My husband and her brother worked together for a long time. So when my kids were little, probably 5 and 7.
Yeah, they were young.
Yeah, we began began doing a lot of things together.
Mhm.
We've been on 2 cruises before together.
Not many people tolerate my brother and your husband. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No. They're two of
Two times, those two. But we're going on a cruise, and we wanted to knit a shawl.
I guess I could bring out mine.
Yeah, you can. Mistake. And I love this pattern. I want to do it again. I guess I need 3. I love it. It is so easy. But pretty. And it's very, let's go this way.
It
looks
is a
like
really easy
underwear.
pattern.
It just looks like underwear when it's
The
when
droopy
it's on
part
the
right there.
Yes.
Looks like a drooping baby diaper.
It does. Let me tell you, I knit at work a lot on my lunch break. So this whole knit in public day, I do it every day. It's nothing to me. I will.
Too.
I
I like
might
to embarrass my family by knitting in public.
It doesn't embarrass me, but I am a little embarrassed to admit that in the morning I go to the gym at my work and I knit on the bicycle.
I've done that.
I do. So I pull these out, and my coworker's like, "Are you knitting underwear?" I'm like, "No, it's certainly not underwear." Anywho,
It's too beautiful.
it is. It's very pretty. I love the pattern. I'm almost done. It blocks out really nice. My finger weight did. I'm gonna assume that the lace weight does too. And then we dyed our own yarn. So we bought some lace weight, which
It's wool
80
silk and it's merino silk intense. No, Stellina.
Stellina. Yeah, it's 80% wool, 20%. No, 75% wool, 20% silk, and 5% Stellina.
It's super wash.
Yeah. I call this the Age of Aquarius. It's turquoise or teal, obviously gradient. But next time I want more sparkle. I like some sparkle. And if I was not so anxious to get it done, I even thought about on the bind off portion beading it.
I thought of that too on the picot.
Yeah. But I don't know. The picot's gonna be enough.
That'll give it a lot of bling.
It will give it a lot of bling.
I think that'll be really pretty.
We're going to end at about 491 stitches.
That's okay.
I don't know, picoing and putting beads.
I think it'll look really pretty.
I think it
Just
will too.
in the point, in the picot right there. Right?
Oh.
Can you do that?
I don't know. YouTube. It's all about YouTube. We'll find out. Anywho, so this is my Pebble Beach. I'm hoping to be done with it this week. I haven't decided if I'm doing Stash Dash yet. This would be a good start. This is 890 yards.
I keep hearing about Stash Dash, and I probably should know. Is that the point? Is to go through your stash and try to knit as much of it as you can? It's not de-stash. You're not getting rid of.
No, and from listening to a couple of the podcasters, what I think they're doing, because you can literally go through all of your whips, and as long as you bind off, you get to count it all the yardage, and it's 3K, 5K, 10K meters. So you set a goal for the summer. I'm totally off the cuff here, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I think the knit girls are doing it. Yeah. So I'm sure there's more people than us that know better about this.
Probably.
But meters, knit, and apparently you can, like, if you lengthen sleeves, if you know, binding off. So if you have a lot of works in progress, I think it's to really get through that.
Okay.
Is the goal.
Kind of finish
stuff.
progress.
Yes. Now I am a little bit OCD. And I okay, a lot. And I can't handle a lot of whips. I can't. Like, it makes me crazy. I will lay a night thinking about it, and I'm nuts. So I lay in bed at night and I worry about my works in progress, because that's what normal people worry about, right? Not world hunger, not how to pay my bills. I worry about my knitting bags. So I just try not to keep too many things going, and it needs to be manageable. And before I started this shawl, I'm very goal oriented as well. So I literally set a goal to finish most of my bigger projects. So when I started this, I could focus on it. And it's worked out pretty well. I mean, I try to keep one home knitting project and one work project. Work being hats, socks, potato chip, TV type knitting, so I can do it on the bicycle at the gym.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's my go-to project when I used to go to a certain gym, and I rode the bikes over there at Planet Fitness.
Mine is convenient. It's at work.
Well, now I have my treadmill at home, so I usually watch podcasts while I'm on my treadmill. I don't knit on a treadmill.
Oh, I watch and knit while riding the bike. And the gym at work was hard for me, but it broke all of my don't be naked at work rules. Well, because I go to work, I go to the gym, I shower, I get ready for work, and then I go to my desk. So hence being naked at work is just awkward. But you get over it. I don't know. All right, I'll stop now.
Well, I guess I work the majority of the time from home, so it's kind of work in your pajamas from home. Sometimes.
So envious of that.
I take my break at 9 or 10, shower, dress. Only, if I start up, now I started walking again early, so now I'm go out. It's nice weather. Walk at 7 o'clock. I get back around 20 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
So I can quick take a shower, get dressed. But, you're at your desk with your wet hair and no makeup on and stuff like that.
I don't think the cats are judging you.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Until they initiate webcams, I think I'm good.
You're good.
Because we don't have to report by webcam yet.
I would like that.
Anyways, speaking of socks, so I don't know. Since I put a lot more projects on the needles, some bigger projects that I got off the needles recently. I hadn't been knitting that many socks, but in the past I tried to at least always have a sock on the needle. I made my mom a lot of socks, so I give a lot of socks to her, and she's a very knitworthy person. But anyway, this yarn, it's not showing up as red and purpley on the camera as it really is, but this is a yarn we got at the Michigan Fiber Festival, I think about last summer.
County Fair.
Yes, it's called, the colorway is County Fair, and it's, I want to say it's Kate Davis Designs.
Utopia was
company.
the store.
That's the store where it came from. Yeah. It's the Panda sock base. So it's, this is where ball bands would be good, and I left it at home.
Yeah.
But anyway, it definitely has nylon in it. It's a merino nylon, and I believe silk, maybe.
It has something in it that doesn't take the dye. Because I got
bamboo.
It's the bamboo. Because I got the merino.
We did
nylon.
the shawls with the, I know mine had cashmere in it. That was the other base. It was an MCM. But this definitely, I think you're
but
right.
I got the same colorway, and it's much more vibrant.
Yeah. So this definitely has the bamboo in it. But anyway, my typical sock pattern is just a plain old ribbed cuff or band, and then the leg part is just stockinette, and then I do the eye partridge heel, slip stitch heel, and just zip down the foot and just do the heel or toe decreases, and that's it. What else? I've never really done any patterning on socks, just because I don't want to think that hard about knitting a sock. It's that's what I do when I'm watching TV with my husband, or going to a restaurant as you're waiting after you ordered, you're waiting for your food to come, or baseball games.
I have a really hard time putting my $30 yarn anywhere near food. Crazy.
I don't get it in the food.
I know. I'm just saying.
Again, here's my carbons.
Yeah, I need those.
Size 2, so I knit every sock on a size 2. 48 stitch cast on. I love double points. I know a lot of people do magic loop. And I really enjoy magic looping.
I get lost in the magic loop. I don't know. I'm a very visual person, and I can't visualize the circle. On the double points, I can visualize the round. I get to the heel. I know what to do. On the mat, I just don't. I don't know. All right. I have my bamboo, which is where I knew that was muted. This is my Everybody in the World Has Knitted. My sock head hat. Yes. This was some yarn I dyed up. I don't know if it shows up good. Yeah, it's green and blue. I ride my bicycle, Speedy, for a fundraiser every year here in Columbus, and the colors are green and blue, so I wanted to dye something and knit it up to go with my colors, and the colors are green and blue for the project. But so I think I do a 4-inch 2x2, and then I just knit until I get bored, and then I start the decreases. I believe the pattern calls for 9 inches. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I don't ever go that long. Part of it is I have short hair, obviously, and I don't need that much of a slouch in the back. So I just go until I'm done, and then I decrease. These are on the Chai Goose. My other one's on Chai Goose too. These are the size 3s, but they have the hook, the turn. I didn't know if I was gonna like it, but actually they're honestly perfect for sockets. I mean, it's just the round. It's a perfect size. I think it's a 16-inch cable. They're not real pointy. They're not the red lace. They're the clear cable. And quite frankly, I got these at Tuesday morning.
Oh, that was when they had the.
They had all the Chai Goose in the small sizes for $1.99. I said, well, I will learn to knit with a bend in my needle for $1.99 for some Chai Goose. I bought up, I think, like 5 different sizes.
Doesn't it make you wonder, like, where do they get that shipment that they just sell it so cheap?
I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with the needles.
No, they're Chai Goose. They came in the packaging. I think the size might have been $2.99, and then the thinner, I got some 0s, some 1s, some 2s, and some 3s.
By the time I went a few weeks later, they had one left. It was a size 0. Yeah. And yeah, it was like $2.50.
I asked Heidi when I told her.
Yeah. I always.
That day. I went home and I texted her. I'm like, you need to get over Tuesday morning. They've got Chai Goose.
Didn't make it for several weeks.
She did not. So I actually have a second skein. And I don't know if I'm just going to continue the hat or bind off. Really haven't made that decision yet. I don't know that I'll have a need in the middle of the summer for any kind of knits or things. But I also was thinking maybe a headband. Mm-hmm. There's a cute pattern out there.
You just made me think of something. The summer issue of Interweave Knits has a section on headbands.
Do I have that? We don't have that. Heidi has that. She'll share
bring it over. And yeah, they're really a lot of really nice headband patterns.
Oh.
Yeah. Some for thicker yarn, but I think this still might be good.
And this is actually Serenity yarn.
Yeah.
From Joanne, Deborah Norval.
That was the cream that we dyed.
This was the cream. I think it's 80-20.
It also has bamboo in it.
It's bamboo, wool, and nylon.
Yeah.
I don't mind the yarn at all. I mean, it's not rough. I use it all the time. I like their yarn. I like the colors that it comes in. I like to do socks in it. I'm not really, it's going to sound sacrilegious, but I'm just not a huge knitted sock wearer. I don't know. And I think I need to mess around with the cast on, because I think I'm casting on 64 stitches.
Yeah.
And my foot slides around in it.
Most of the socks I've ever knit have gone to other people.
Right.
The very first pair that I knit, I kept, and that was I did it out of, since it was my first sock, the yarn shop I went to recommended that I do like a worsted weight. So I think it was Barocco. One of the Barocco
don't they call those
bands.
Stockings?
No, I mean, it was still a regular sock. It was just very thick, and I wore it
with your Crocs.
You know, when I was working night shift at the hospital,
okay.
So we wear the dance goes.
Yeah.
They're really kind of loose on your feet. So winter time, I would wear it with that. They were very cushy, very soft, and they lasted a long time. I think I had those socks for like 5 years, literally, before the first hole wore in them. And
you can darn them.
Yeah, no, there was no darning this by that. It was really like, I don't know. Maybe I could have put a patch on it, but I had another pair.
Use them for Christmas. By the fireplace. I don't know.
But yeah, my mom loved the first pair I gave her. She was so appreciative of them, and now every Mother's Day, birthday, holiday, she gets a pair of socks. I knit a pair for my son. He liked them, but they went in his drawer and hadn't really come out. After many, many years of knitting, I knit a pair for my husband. He wore them once, and it's because I personally put them on his feet, and now they're in his drawer. It's not that he doesn't. I mean, it's just
Come
not.
winter time, just remind him.
Yeah. I know. My daughter does wear them. Knit her several pairs. Myself, I only right now at present time have about 2 pairs.
I've got a couple pair. I'm working on a pair. I actually knit over this I'm doing this thing this year. It's called Knit It Forward. And I just randomly knit things and I mail it to my friends. They don't know what's coming. They just get a package in the mail and it has some hand knit item in it. And I sent out 3 pair of the Mrs. Fisher's slippers last winter. You knit them flat, sew up the back, sew up the front. Super easy. You use double stranded worsted weight, so they're really fast, and they love them. And then I get vintage buttons, and I sew the buttons. Buttons. Somebody said I said it wrong. Buttons. There's a T in buttons. I sew vintage buttons on the tops, and I just mail them. I throw them in a package. I write a little card. I put them in the mail, and then I put on my Facebook because most of my friends are on my Facebook. I'm like, oh, I just mailed out my latest Knit It Forward, and I'm like, who's it for? You'll have to see. And then the person who gets it takes a picture and puts it on Facebook, and we all have a fun time.
Knit It Forward. They should have to then knit something and send it to
but nobody knits but me.
Oh.
So. But my
Teach a friend to knit.
Well, my friend Jen does have a knitting. What are those? Not the machine.
Sock machine?
No, it's a loom.
Oh, okay.
A sock loom. But she doesn't. She hasn't.
Oh, so that's just a stationary, like a ring with the prongs on it. Okay.
She does what's called Zentangle, and so she mailed me a bookmark that she Zentangled for me.
Call it Crafted Forward.
Crafted Forward. I think I did change it to Crafted Forward because I crocheted a baby blanket for somebody that I just put out in the mail. Anywho, I digress.
We're both digressing. I don't know.
We've lost
We're at
control.
27 minutes.
Ooh, all right, what else you
Do
got?
I have another?
I don't know. You got
show
bags over there.
I won't show my spinning yet. Oh, I'll show this other shawl. This has been on my.
She has spinning.
I don't talk about that later. You do. Yes, you do.
Oh, I'll show you my spinning.
Okay.
I like that. That's tweed.
I love tweed. Oh, I love tweed. And this is I'll tell you what the yarn is because it's on the pattern. But this is the enchantment shawl. I'll kind of show it without showing the pattern.
So it's paid for?
Yes, it's paid for. I got it at a yarn shop down in Florida when I was visiting my mom. I think it was the Sip and Knit, maybe somewhere near Orlando, Florida.
It's really pretty.
It is Knit One Crochet Two. The pattern's the Enchantment Shawl by Helene Rush, and the pattern recommends that you use one skein of their crocodile and one of their kettle tweed. I'm using both kettle tweed colors, and it's 60% wool, merino wool, 20% llama, and 10% bamboo, and 10%.
No,
this one bigger.
That's filthier. Like, girl,
right
what
there.
are you doing?
So yeah. Anyways, bamboo and donegal. That's the tweedy bits.
Okay.
But anyway, so
it's pretty.
It's showing up a lot bluer for some
it's
reason.
More green. It's like a it's really green. It's really blue. It's
I can't even. It's definitely.
Try pulling it back towards us.
One of my needles.
Yeah, it's very much a green. Yeah, it's really pretty. I love green.
With a lot of like little black and browns.
It's very earthy,
tweedy looking. But I want to share the paid pattern. But this first part is taking me quite a while. 30 some odd repeats of the little basic chart. And then you pick up stitches and build upward from there. But I love it. It's just that you really have to concentrate on it because I don't.
Not potato chip knitting.
Well, it probably is for some people because what is it? 14. It's a 14 row repeat.
Okay.
So really, some people, and if I were to sit there long enough, I probably could like have it down. It's just that I can only do so much of it. Maybe like one repeat, put it down for several days before I pick it up again.
So this is this is like your barn raising blanket.
Probably. I'm trying to think of when I started this. I think I started this in January. So it's been on the needles a while, but I don't work at it consistently at all. These needles, which I love too, These are actually the
Deborah
Deborah Norville
Norville.
ones
I like
from
those.
Joann's.
I like them.
The last few times I've been in there, I was trying to pick up more sizes of the double points. They don't have them. I don't know. I could probably
They
go
sell
online and
a
get
lot. They sell out a lot of
Yeah.
those.
But they're so, I don't know, the
They're
feel of them.
not as sticky as a clover, and they're not as slippery as a metal.
Right. They're just, yeah.
They're nice.
And they're warm in your hands. I mean, they don't, and the yarn slips off it nice. It's not too slippery, like you said. So
It's very equivalent, I think, to the Knit Picks wooden ones that I have.
I wanted to show you. I don't know how this will come out. This is the color that I got to go with it.
Now, this is
Which I guess you
definitely
can't
more
really-
burgundy.
Yeah, it's like a wine, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Wine color.
Less pink, more burgundy. I think it's going to be pretty.
And they're both like a
Is that worth
fingering. No, this is probably a fingering. Yeah. You see how I don't keep labels?
I know.
Bad.
You need to work on that.
No. I guess because we have to do those show notes, right?
Yes.
Now, the other thing I wanted to say, because I cannot work charts without having like a magnet to put it under my row.
I'm ordering mine today.
Because when I take my eyes off it and I go to look at it again, I'll literally forget which row I
Right,
did
you're
if I
kinda
didn't
lost
do
on the
that.
pattern.
Yeah, and I've tried like highlighting and putting little sticky notes and things like that, and it just has never worked as well. This is from Knit Picks. It's their chart keeper. It's like a padded hard cardboard, and then you can snap it open and stand it up.
Nice.
Well, they can't see it.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's really helpful, especially like if you're knitting in bed and you're just sitting back and you have it laid on there.
I use my cat for that. He's very good like that. I lay my patterns on him all the time, and he just lifts up and looks at me and says, "All right," goes back to sleep.
Yeah. Now what I'm gonna have to do now is go back and read my knitting because I moved the magnets. And again, I haven't picked this up in quite a long time, but because I've been rushing to get through this cruise shawl.
Yeah, we run to get that
double
done. I'm at the point now where I want something chunky and fast after I'm done with that lace. And it's not, and the pattern's great. It's not been long. It's just there's so many stitches on the needles right now that it's about a 30-minute row for me. 25 to 30 minutes. But it's easy. It's definitely easy knitting. It's very memorable. You can easily memorize it. Super easy.
I'm wondering if this will show up. This pattern.
It's really
Yeah, it
pretty.
kinda does. It's got
It's gonna block out
like
really
this lace,
nice too.
and then like it's not actually a cable. It's kind of I guess the mock cable or whatever. But yeah, I can't wait to have it done and be able to block it.
Then you might want to pick up space.
Yeah, no, but
I'm just saying, if you want to have that done this
I
lifetime.
know. I'm only at I don't know. I want to say like 15 out of 30.
But once you get the end and pick up all your stitches,
once
it should
I
go
pick it up
faster.
and go up, yeah. And there's a lot of another reason I thought this was nice, skill wise. There's bobbles in it. You do some cabling in there. Yeah, you do. It's not really color work, but it's I forget what they call it when you're doing different colors on a particular row, and not in the same row.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it was
We'll learn that word and share it.
I'm trying to
Expand your knitting
expand
horizon.
from doing just plain, like, top-down sweaters.
Yeah.
And, I want to do more than just stockinette, and more than just, except for socks, because that has to be
But this
brainless
definitely
knitting
has
for me.
interest to it. There's
Yeah,
lots of
There's a lot of different things
curling
going on.
happening. There's a lot of textural interest, color variation. That'll be fun. Maybe I'll try. Maybe.
Yeah.
Not the hugest fan of picking up stitches, but I cheat and use my crochet hook. There it is. I'm announcing it. I cheat. There we go. The world now knows I'm a cheater.
Do you use your crochet hook in your knitting to pick up your stitches?
That's how I pick up my guesses.
Okay. Oh, that is cheating.
No, it's not. It's not officially cheating because I learned it on YouTube. And if it happens on YouTube, it's not cheating.
It's not cheating.
It
I
is
learned
cheating,
a lot of
but-
knitting on YouTube. I took a beginner class for several weeks and then learned a lot on YouTube.
It just, for me, it's just easier to get in there with the crochet hook and pull it through. All right. So I'm working on a pair of socks. Also, this was my gym knitting, and then I switched up to the hat. I do tandem knit my socks. Tandem, concurrent, whatever you want to call it. But I knit them. So what I do is I'll cast one on, get down to the heel, and I just do the same. I think this pattern is loosely based on the Anne Norling, which I think is a
That
paper.
is the Anne Norling pattern. I think
You did.
Oh, don't say I did not copy it and give it to you.
No. You told me about it and I went and got it.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm borrowing it.
Gonna come and get me.
Oh God, we're going to jail. So
Can we edit that out?
Yeah. No. It's just simple vanilla sock. But anyway, I start one, I get to the heel, I start the next one, get to the heel, then I do the eye partridge, slip stitch, gusset, and then the home stretch. This one is ready to start the decreases, so this one is getting to the point of the decreases. And I use double points as well. So, and here's the fun thing that I learned. I have Caspian from Knit Picks. I'm not sure if you can see it. They're the tealy, turquoisey.
You like doing that hand
I do
thing,
love doing
don't
the
you?
hand thing. And I prefer the 5-inch needle. I don't like a lot of needle hanging around to jog with. And I'm knitting away, and I can't understand why one of my socks is looser than the other when I'm knitting them concurrently. This is weird. So finally one day I got to thinking and I pulled out these little contained packages.
This one's small, isn't it? Is that one small?
The Knit Picks is a US 2, 3mm. The Clover is a US 2, 2.75 millimeters, not meter.
I have my Knit Picks gauge. So. Because for the Knit Picks, it fits in the 2.75 or 2.
That is the Knit Pick, which is a 3mm.
Yeah.
So.
And this is the 2.75.
Mm-hmm. But was labeled a number 2. So, one of my socks is looser than the other because my needles aren't the same size. So, I'll finish. It's not that big of a deal. I'll finish it. I'll be happy. I love this colorway, by the way. This is also Serenity Sock Weight by Deborah Norville. 230 yards. This colorway is Harlequin, which to me just really screams Mardi Gras. It's very Mardi Gras fun, self-striping yarn. It'll definitely get a lot of wear this fall. And it is, I have it out. Oh, it's 50% superwash merino, 25% rayon,
That's the same as
and
the one
25%
you dyed.
nylon. So this rayon made from bamboo. So it is bamboo. It's the same stuff that I dyed. And it's not bad. I mean, but there's definitely a size difference.
I've knit a lot of socks out of this line in different colors.
I think it's pretty. I love the color.
They're very soft.
I would love to have done some mittens with my buttons. See, it's the double T.
You
I
might
have
left
enough.
over to do mitts.
Maybe some fingerless something.
Mm-hmm.
So these are it. I'm almost done. I just kind of, like you, I put them on the back burner. I've been working on these for 6 months. I mean, it's nothing that's a priority. It's summertime.
I've mostly been just knitting on the shawl for the cruise. Every now and then a couple rows on the honey cow. And then our newest thing, I said I would never spin because it seems like it's a whole other expensive hobby, and because I had bought about 2 summers ago, bought a spindle at a fiber festival.
Yes, you sure did.
And some fiber from Fiber Optics. Got home, tried it, got very frustrated with it because it was spinning so thick, and I literally just put them both, fiber and the spindle, in a drawer. Totally just forgot about it.
Peace out.
Bye. But you were the one, I think, who said we should.
Yeah, I got suckered into it on these podcasts that we watch. And all the spinning, look at the pretty yarn, I can spin. Okay, I'm gonna try it.
Well, then, as you're watching podcasts and you hear people say, well, for beginners, it should probably start maybe if you're having trouble, it's probably because the staple length. You're
Right.
not holding your fingers far enough apart. Maybe you're working with a staple length that's longer.
Mhm.
And that was true. I was trying to spin probably what beginners shouldn't start with, and that was like it was a merino, a superwash merino.
That's what I bought.
Very,
It's a start
very
with.
long staple.
Yes, it does have a long staple. I think it has.
But this time, I made it my business to sit down and watch a few videos. So, yeah. And that's actually a lot softer than the stuff I had bought.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I think it had nylon in it too, which made it very slippery.
Yeah.
The stuff that I bought initially.
It's pretty, but I mean, the length. It's.
Yeah, we'll take a smaller piece and pull it out. Tiny bit.
Oh, the end.
Yeah. We'll take like one little tiny bit and see how long that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fairly long staple.
As a beginner, if you're sitting there like this, trying to
spin
draft, you're not going to draft anywhere
You're
until you pull your fingers apart and you then watch the fibers slide.
Right.
Amongst
And
each other.
learn
Look at that. So I know that now. I don't know why I couldn't make myself learn it then.
You just weren't emotionally ready.
I think that's what it is too. I didn't have the patience, and
I'm kidding.
when I'm thinking back then, I think
it's not psychoanalyze knitting or spinning.
no, I'm just psychoanalyzing my life at the time. My life at the time.
Right.
I think I had taken another job at work, so I had more responsibility. I was stressed out more. I think I wasn't ready for something new. I don't know. But anyways, fast forward to now. We had that
We're
tag
going
for the
into our
lady.
yarn about.
Yeah.
This is our yarn about segment.
And I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
Woo.
But you have the tag. I don't have the tag for mine. So
really?
I know.
It's so shocking.
I know.
Okay, this is from the Spinner's Cottage. This is called her hodgepodge bat. So it literally is just her ends. She said her mom spins them for her or bats them up. It may contain silk, firestar, yak, camel, alpaca, bamboo, a variety of wool breeds, selvage, silk, noir. So it literally is the kitchen sink of fiber.
But
it's super soft.
Do you remember when we went into her booth?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Can I help you with something?" And I was just looking. I'm like,
so
"Well." Nice. So I explained to her the trouble I had, and she's like, "You need to look at these bats.
Yeah.
This, you'll probably find it easier." So I bought one and got you that one because if I'm going to go through this,
apparently I am too.
Suffering, or actually it's not suffering now.
It's the suffrage movement.
Yeah, we're going to do this together. So
hence I have a spindle too now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's cute. You went down, as they say, the rabbit hole. I think.
Sure did.
Now I got to say, this is just my first go around, and I didn't wash it.
I just whacked it. I'm saying that word.
No, I
don't even know what thwacking is yet, but
thwacking I think is when you do this.
Oh, I hope that's what it means because now we're telling people.
I think. Well, they know we're kind of, hey, we're here to.
We're learning with you.
Right. Learn from our experiences, maybe.
Sure.
I don't know. But at any rate, I did not wash it and do the proper things that you're supposed to do to it. I just wanted. I wound it off the spindle onto a ball winder, and then from the ball winder, because the reason I did that, I was going to take both ends and try to ply it. And then I realized, well, no, I didn't, because see how thick and thin it is, and there's lots of little,
it almost looks like art yarn.
Yeah, there were lots of little these short, little thick things that you couldn't
dealing with
draft.
multiple breeds.
Yeah, but I like the way that came out. I mean, it's not something you want to wear. Although it is pretty soft. It does feel kind of soft against your skin. But I was thinking more of a toy, like a little toy or something out of this. Because I only have maybe about 50 yards.
Smells very sheepy.
But anyways, I don't know. I keep looking at it. I'm happy with
beautiful.
it. I never, in a million years after that first experience, thought I would pick up a spindle
you're further
again.
than me because this is what I got.
And I'm even, should go so far as to say, when you're the motion of spinning, it's so relaxing. I could see myself someday getting a spinning wheel.
Well, you taught me to knit. You should knit. It's relaxing, Lori. Knit. I was so stressed out when I learned to knit that I wanted to cry. I'm better now, but
you know what my daughter says though, because I keep trying to. I did. My kids, when I first learned to knit, they were a lot younger. They wanted to do what I was doing. And I taught them the knit stitch, and they liked doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They put it down for a real long time. And then I tried to show my daughter again.
Oh.
And I said, my daughter's so, I know this is supposed to be relaxing, but knitting makes me want to take the needles and shove them in my eye sockets.
Yeah,
so,
she's not a knitter. But it's a patience that's involved. But once you get it, and it took me a few projects to get it. I will get the spinning on the spindle thing. Honestly, I just want to thwack it. I don't know. It just sounds, and I want to ply on the fly. I have no idea what it is yet, but I want to do it because it sounds so cool. I'm like, if you can fly on the fly, I want to learn how to do it. So right now, I'm just going to spin me some, I don't even know if this is even worsted, chunky. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to spin it. This that I'm spinning first are these, they were very inexpensive. They were just buckets of different colors, $1
about foot long
blob, because it really wasn't even wound up into anything cute. But they were fun colors, and I'm going to spin it first, and then I'll dive into my hodgepodge bat and just see what I get. I've got, I'll show you. Excuse me. Sorry for the particle, but I kind of like that noise. I'm not going to lie.
I like the crinkling.
So I got some pink, some purple, and a green, but what I really want to do is my red and green. It's Christmas. Look at it. These are what they are. I think if somebody were to purchase them, they would call them like a treble. They'd be knotted up or something, like a little bun. Maybe like one of those little buns or something, but I didn't. I'm going to spin this red and green, and I'm going to make a Christmas ornament. That's my goal. I have such lofty goals in life.
You'll tell
Christmas ornament.
You'll spend that in half an hour.
No, I won't. And then we'll discuss ordering better quality
can't
stuff.
Wait to order some more fiber.
Or pick it up at a fiber show. I mean, we were at, what was it called? I should mention it. We were at the Great Lakes Fiber Fest in Worcester, Ohio. It's about a 2-hour drive. So we drove up. We brought my mom with us. We parked her in the shade. Literally. And then we walked around. I might have bought a sweater's quantity of alpaca undyed.
Might have.
I might. Okay, I did. They have to dye up. I want to dye and knit my own sweater. I haven't done that yet. But it was great. It was very alpaca heavy, though, I feel like. I mean, they were legit alpaca there.
Well,
and the one is a very alpaca.
A lot of alpaca farms.
An alpaca with a poodle cut. I'm not lying. Big poofy head.
I
will put the picture at the end. Big poofy head, big poofy little feet, look like a French poodle, but it was an alpaca. I wanted to bring it home.
The face of an alpaca is so expressive. Their eyes are so big.
Yes, they were so cute.
They have these cute heart-shaped noses.
And they're little.
And they're just so cute.
I think I pictured llama, because llamas are larger. The alpaca, and they might have been like juvenile alpaca, I don't really know. The guy, once I started squealing and talking to them like they were 3, the guy was like, I'm done with you. I'm like, I really don't need you either. I just want to take pictures of these cute little alpaca.
You know, I don't know. Some people, like my husband, he says, alpaca, don't they spit? I don't think alpaca spit.
That's the llama. Llamas, I believe, they also breathe on you. I learned that at a farm stand or something. But there was a lot of alpaca there, alpacas, a lot of indie dyers, not a lot of self-striping yarn. I think only 2 vendors had self-striping. And then your personal favorite...
The yarn truck.
The yarn
van.
They took a conversion van and converted it into a traveling local yarn store. Genius.
It ended up being the dyer for 716 knits, which I bought a skein of yarn.
Yeah,
and I didn't think of bringing it
to
show it. It's a speckle dyed yarn.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I didn't realize the dyer was also the owner of the van until I went home and was looking up the yarn van online or yarn truck. It's Buffalo Knits. Is the name of the truck. Super nice.
It was just cool. It was like, hello, local yarn store on wheels.
It was like a dream come true. I'm like, I want that. I want a van.
Very manageable if you're going to have a store. Like, roll it up and head on out to Beverly. I guess
she travels to must travel different yarn shows.
She said every weekend. Yeah. She's at a different yarn. I heard her talking to somebody else.
And all she had was indie dyed yarn.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see
She carried other, I think it was hedgehog fibers. I saw I don't remember who else, but
Of course, they're all the names are escaping me, but she had several different.
That was a blur for me. Because we walked through, and there was a lot of vendors. And then we sat down, had lunch, and then went back and made our purchases.
Yeah. Oh, she had Milky Robot yarn. I know the name. There's the dyer has a podcast.
Gnome Acorn. It's not gnome. It wasn't Gnome Acres, but there was a gnome involved.
Oh, I don't know.
And there was
I just remember Milky Robot yarn
and
Hedgehog Fibers, and then the 716 knits.
We'll put it.
She had several other
which
brands.
can be found at www.cowtowncolorworks.com. Yeah. Just in case.
You doing those show notes?
Apparently, I'm doing the show notes. Heidi's not very tech savvy, so do not look for her Ravelry page.
The thing is, I work about 50 plus hours a week on a computer all day long, and the last thing I want to do is get back on the computer in my free time. It's not to say I won't, because I don't want to burden all the computer stuff on you.
And on podcasting day, we'll update.
Yeah, and I would update our Ravelry page, but things like I don't have any of my projects on my Ravelry except for one I did the owl sweater a long time ago, and I put that on there. It just seems like work to me. Not fun work. I'd rather be knitting.
Right. And do we have any other festivals coming up?
There is the Michigan one in August if we decide to go back.
That's a 5-hour drive.
It didn't seem like it.
Sure did.
It went quick. Yeah. We talked the whole time.
We did. We talked about knitting. We slept in a tent. It rained. We woke up wet.
It was very hot.
We left Heidi's husband in charge of getting us a tent.
And
he got a 4-person tent, but we needed, in order to have air mattresses, a 4-person tent is really a 2-person tent, but it was the wrong direct. It was a mess. Anyway, we were fine. I mean, we cooked out.
I am fondling this yarn the whole podcast.
I can see you doing that right now. Oh, in Grandview, which is south of Columbus, there's a local fiber show that's happening. I believe it used to be in Newark. They're combining with an arts festival.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it.
That's coming up soon. We miss Pittsburgh. We won't be going to Rhinebeck because we'll be on a cruise in the Caribbean. But we'll podcast from the ship.
Maryland, she can roll. When is that next year?
That happened in March. Okay. So I think we should go to that. That's only 6 hours. It's a 6-hour drive. I would rather drive
September
there.
Is the wool gathering down in where your mom's from, or near Dayton.
Oh, in Yellow Springs.
Yellow Springs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we go to that every year. I love that one. And we sit out under the tree and watch. It was herding dogs, herding Canada geese. Yes, but they were herding ducks. They were not herding sheep. He had them trained to herd ducks. So I think we took my mom to that one too, and kind of parked her out there under a tree, and she visited with people while we shopped, and then came back again. So I think that's it for our locals. I would rather do the Maryland Sheep and Wool because there's tons of.
I've never been to one of those big shows.
I know. I want to go. Let's do it next year. We're totally going. But there's other stores and stuff we could hit up.
We could do yarn
fiber space. Yeah, we're gonna have our very own yarn crawl. We could crawl around Columbus, but I believe there's only 3 yarn shops still open. Maybe 4, but I think it's 3.
The part of town where we are on the east side, we don't have a local yarn shop. I mean, we literally have to drive about half an hour to get to the closest one.
I mean, it's not a hardship, but it's certainly not uber convenient.
And I don't know. My yarn tastes now are drawn to the indie dyers.
Yes. And I don't feel like
we have things that you get at a festival. Not so much at the yarn shop.
But they may. I mean, we're going to hit them up. We need to go. We'll do some reviewing. We'll go and visit. We're going to go on location.
Yeah.
We are a high budget podcast. We're going on location to our local yarn store. And just check it out and see.
Well, I wanted to show some of the sites of the town.
Sure do. The one yarn store I did go to, which closed recently, did not have a lot of indie dye, but I feel like they knew before they closed that they were closing, so they didn't have a lot of stock when I was in there. But I mean, I'll hit it out. I don't have a problem with that. There are 3 craft stores within a 5-mile radius of here that I hit on the regular. So, all right. Well, we'll do this again for episode 2 soon. Anything else?
I got nothing.
We got nothing.
thanks for watching. I don't know, all two of you that found us.
No,
That maybe my husband and maybe your
Sarah.
mom.
We'll make Sarah and Jackie and my mom watch. We'll make somebody watch. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And then I'll fix that shelf behind us before we come back.
Hopefully I won't fit it as much.
We will. Well, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.